Libra, thank you so much for joining me. This is Get Life 333 Tarot. My name is Jackie. This is going to be a They Want No Contact and What They Don't Want You to Know spread. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. If this doesn't resonate, please check one of those. Understand these are general reads. All right, Libra, first of all, I am really sorry that you are in a no contact situation. That is never fun and it's always painful. I'm going to say especially when you don't motivate it. For sure. Let's get right to it. These are meant to give you a little bit of guidance, open up some questions in your mind about your relationship. Every card, every situation may not directly apply to you, so take what resonates and please throw out the rest. Okay? Because there are many, many Libras out there, right? All right, so let's get right to it. Okay, so we're starting out with the Chariot. They don't want you to know how this major departure away from your relationship has motivated them to take control of their life, their path, and moving on alone is the path that they know that they're ultimately feeling right now that they're meant to be on. And they don't want you to know that. And there could be a whole host of reasons, and we're going to address those in a minute, but let's just move on here. We have Ace of Swords. They don't want you to know how trapped they felt in the relationship, but not necessarily because of you, but perhaps by circumstances that you guys were in. And they started to just lose hope that things would ever really improve. And they don't want you to know how they're struggling in either their career or their mental state. I don't know, they're struggling with depression, anxiety, some sort of mental illness, PTSD, are they, bipolar? So many of these issues, and it's beautiful that they have finally, come out as just things that just regular people struggle with. But I'm getting the feeling like, one of those may be an issue here, but they don't want to share it with you. I'm not sure why. And they felt that no matter what they did, they didn't feel, like right, or enough in this relationship, bonded by expectations. They felt like they couldn't satisfy, and they somehow, I'm going to say feel or felt, somehow humiliated or ignored and were very concerned about what others thought of them. Okay, this is the thing, Libra. If this isn't making sense to you, you need to understand from your partner's perspective. So everything I'm saying, put yourself in their shoes and just try to think about if there is validity to any of this, why they might feel like this. Heed that. Check it out. Think about it. Think you owe yourself and your relationship and them that much. Even if you don't agree, think about it. Yeah. Because when we have the Two of Cups reversed, they know you were not aware of how unhappy they were. Wow. And for some of you, this indicates infidelity as an escape, and I'm getting very much that it was an escape, an escape, an escape. Away from you. Away from what they wanted, but they felt like they couldn't work. So to validate themselves, they ran off into something else. Stupid move kind of thing. That's for some of you, to make themselves feel better for a minute. But they don't want you to know all of this because they know it requires a required communication that they're just not ready to have. So with that said, this indicates passion on hold to me. There's energy here to support a rekindling of this connection. Absolutely, yes. This is not lost if you guys don't want it to be. They just know. Okay. They just don't know how to communicate. They know they have to, but they don't know how, and they're not ready for it, and they feel like if they let you know everything, you're going to turn around and say, oh, this is just the way it is right now, and you just have to let the past be the past and move forward, and they just, right now, don't know how to do that for whatever reason. Okay, and this I think is really interesting and worth noting how we have the Magician upright, which is number 1 of the major arcana. And for those of you who don't know, the major arcanas are more of a long extended energy, whereas the minor arcanas, you know, like these guys here, these are more passing energies. They're very short-lived. These are the longer-lived ones. You guys have a lot of major arcanas here, but this is the thing. You have the Magician, which is number 1, and then you have the Judgment, which is 20. There are 21 major arcanas, right? I mean, after this, it's just the World, right? So it's like both ends of the spectrum. I mean, you get the first to the second to the last. I mean, they are up in their emotional gigs, Libra. They're feeling their stuff. Yeah, they want to establish a healthy communication and a partnership with you. Yeah, and it's so weird. Okay, in their head, they have this conversation that's actually really, really healthy, right? But then they remember everything that's happened. And the thing is, they are not able to see the lesson in all of it. You might, but they don't. And they're just not able to break free from themselves right now. And they know this, but they don't want to tell you because they know if they tell you, you'll explain to them how the past can't be changed. It should just be accepted, which we know to be true. But they know they aren't ready for that yet. That's the thing. Right? And then they have the Eight of Pentacles, rather, and they know they have to be diligent in their approach to things. Right now, they're just all about losing themselves in their work and something else. But I'm getting their work. All right, I'm not getting that they're losing themselves in another relationship or anything. Right now, they're focusing on throwing themselves into work. You know, for sure. That's what I'm getting. And then we have the Sun in reverse. Look, they need this break because they're seeing how many of their, oh my gosh, they're seeing how many of your issues in your relationship were based in their excessive force, greed, and aggressive persuasion to get what they wanted. They know this. They don't want you to know this, but they know this. And they're just feeling this incredible level of dissatisfaction, first and foremost with themselves. Yeah, they need to be with themselves for a little bit. Absolutely. Because they feel like they're not going to be able to work through this thought process in your relationship. And they realize that if they don't work through this thought process, okay, so this is what I'm getting. I'm sorry if I cut myself off. But then I get hit with these things and I have to say it before it leaves because these things leave really quickly. I'm getting that when you guys were in the relationship, they were very, very emotional, very quick to anger, very aggressive, very accusatory as well. Things that they never wanted to admit to you. Things that they would flip around and point their finger at you about. But you know what, honey? You're a Libra. You got the scales working, you know? Yeah. So you saw through that. You always saw through that bullshit. You never bought it for a second. It was very frustrating for you, but this is the thing. While they were busy denying and blaming and projecting and all of that, they knew deep inside of themselves that what they were doing was not right. It wasn't fair to you, and that they weren't treating you or the situation of the relationship fairly. They knew that, but they never really wanted to look at it. And they realized that they need this space from you in order to actually be able to get a really good hard look at themselves. Yeah, I don't know. Because I think part of their process, I'm going to be straight with you, might be messing around with somebody on the side to make themselves feel better, to build themselves up. You know, listen, life is complicated. This is like very complicated, right? Yeah, listen. All right. Right now, they don't have the will to move this forward. They just don't. You know, they just don't. They're not looking to conform to the confines of this relationship right now because they realize that they have some work to do. And they're trying to approach things from a very specific, a very, strength, right? Of course, you know. Really connecting their mind and body. They really are trying to do that at this point, and they don't feel like they can do that in this relationship. But they don't feel like it's over. Libra, it's not over. It's not over. And you know what this indicates as well? That they understand that it takes two for everything. Okay? Everything. Okay? Even if it's one person doing all of the horrible behavior, the other person has to be the one standing by to take it. And this is no shade on anybody. We've all been in situations like that, okay? But they are really kind of putting most of the blame on themselves. Absolutely. Yeah, and they want stability, but they know they can't have it right now with you because they are so introspective. We have the Hermit. This is alone, not lonely. This is the deepest level of introspection and their best attempt to be really honest with themselves. And I have to preface this by saying their best attempt, because there's a saying, if all you have in your toolbox is a hammer, you're going to treat everything like a nail. And what that means is you can only recognize what you can see. You can only do what you know how to do. So it depends on where they're coming from. Yeah. But right now, they're just not ready to move forward. They're really seeking some balance, and they're very confused about things. So Libra, my advice to you, they want no contact, stay no contact. And this is what I've been telling a couple of the signs. So if you've read other signs for your rising, your moon, or your Venus, you might hear me say, you know, look, if you have to stay no contact, you know, in a reciprocal way, you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing, okay? You have to understand that when a person goes no contact, initially, the alleviation of the stress and the pressure that they're feeling, that they're looking to escape from, brings them relief. And then after a little bit of time, if you consistently text them, email them, call them, post about them on social media, it's going to actually give them a vibe where, like, okay, I'm going to take this space, but I can have them back whenever I want. And they're going to feel very validated in their own mind. But then what happens is if you go no contact also, you stop all the communication. You don't even reference them. If you're speaking to mutual friends, you have nothing. You push them the hell out of your field of energy the best you can. Believe me, I know how hard this is. It is. Okay, but if you can do that, that creates questions in their mind. What's going on? Do they not want me anymore? They don't love me anymore. Da 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 da. And the question goes to curiosity, right? Curiosity is, well, why don't they feel this way? What are they doing? Are they involved with somebody else? Why would they be happy? How is this even possible? I don't understand. I need to investigate. And all of a sudden they're really and when I say this, there's no creepy element to this. This is human behavior, straight up 101. I'm not talking about stalker behavior, but they're going to be looking after you on social media, asking around about you, because they're curious. What happened? If you went no contact also, it's like, oh my God, what happened? And if you don't know this yet, you should know that curiosity is the precursor to attraction. You know, think about that for a second. And that's the deal. So if this, in fact, has the chance to resurrect, you know, you want to resurrect it. Actually, maybe not resurrect it. You want to keep it down, dust it off, walk away from it and rebuild something else. But you need a little space to breathe for that to happen. For you guys to be able to revisit this in a healthier way. A lot of communication is going to be necessary for this, but I absolutely believe that you guys have what it takes. And Libra, your nature is really going to help be the foundation of this. You know? Just because you guys are such a fair and balanced sign. And you are not taken for fools. I'm not saying that. No, you don't like confrontation. No, you do put up with more than you probably should put up with a good part of the time. You do say yes to keep the peace a good part of the time. But that in no way indicates that you don't know what's up. You are really front and center with knowing what the deal is, what's fair, what's not, out of the zodiac, out of the whole zodiac. All right, so your, Libra skill set might really need to be like the underpinning if this is going to be revisited, because it doesn't seem like your partner really knows. Once they get the nerve up to contact you, that's when you'll be able to calmly, don't come at them. Don't go for the jugular. That's going to be counterproductive. Fair and balanced if this is going to be, revisited. And this might not be your story. So if it's not your story, check your rising, your moon, or your Venus, okay? You're either going to resonate with this or not, because this is really these messages tend to be pretty specific, okay? So, yeah. So if this is your message, that's my advice to you. Guys, good luck. Libra, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.